Kings Island is regarded as one of the best amusement parks in the country for its stellar ride lineup to the amazing entertainment, and on top of that, the operations. In today's video, I'm going to show you and be reviewing Kings Island for the rides, food, entertainment, and much more, and I'll let you know if you should visit Kings Island with your family or yourself. Kings Island is an amusement park located in Mason, Ohio, or near Cincinnati. It opened up in 1972, and it just celebrated its 50th year anniversary 1 year ago for its golden anniversary. First, I'm going to be covering the roller coasters, then the food, the flat rides, and then finishing up with entertainment and operations. Before we get any further, make sure you comment down below your favorite roller coaster or your favorite memory you've had at Kings Island. It really helps the channel and more people can see the video when you like and comment. So let's get this video to 100 likes and a few comments. Kings Island is well known for its amazing ride lineup with some of the best roller coasters in the country. Many parks have a solid top 2 roller coasters like Intimidator 305 and Twisted Timbers at Kings Dominion, or Holiday World with Thunderbird and The Voyage, and many other parks. But in my opinion, Kings Island has a killer top 5, and with all these coasters, they're all in my top 25 out of over 170 different roller coasters I've rode, so that does say a lot. The top 5 of these roller coasters consist of Mystic Timbers, Banshee, Diamondback, Orion, and finishing off with the Beast. Starting with the Beast, the roller coaster that put Kings Island on the map in 1979. The Beast was built and manufactured in-house and opened as the world's tallest, longest, and fastest wood coaster in the world. I'm not going to go in-depth for each ride, but I'll give a description for my favorites, and if you want to see in-depth review of the coaster, make sure you comment it down below. The Beast is well known for one of the best night rides in the country, and its over 7,000 feet of track runs through the woods of Mason, Ohio, and it doesn't let up. Flying through tunnels, dips, turns, and features a rare 2 lift hills, and ends with the iconic double helix that really provides some killer laterals. The double helix is by far one of my favorite elements I've ever been on a roller coaster, and I highly recommend riding the Beast at night because it's pitch black, because it truly is a beast.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Right next to it stands Diamondback. Diamondback is a B&M hyper and is well known for its insane airtime over the hills through the woods of Mason, Ohio. This coaster is one of the older hypers but still runs amazing with its slight rattle. The Diamondback ends with its signature splashdown that provides some great photo ops. Mystic Timbers is standing as the best roller coaster in the park. Mystic Timbers opened as the best new coaster of 2017 and is manufactured by Great Coasters International. This wooden coaster is one of the smoothest wood coasters in the world, and this isn't even the tallest or fastest in the world, but Mystic Timbers doesn't let up through its entire layout, only reaching a top speed of 53 miles per hour. But during the 53 mile per hour journey, you'll fly through the woods, race over Whitewater Canyon, and the train, another coaster in Kings Island that uses the woods to its advantage masterfully. Banshee is next, opened up in 2014, replacing part of the Son of Beast plot of land after it was demolished. And if you want to check out my Son of Beast history video, make sure you click the link above. But Banshee was built by B&M and is one of the most intense coasters B&M has ever built. This coaster is either loved or disliked by enthusiasts for its intensity. I lean towards loving this invert, featuring 7 inversions and a ride into the valleys of Mason, Ohio. This coaster features a killer first drop that leads into the loop through the lift hill and its many other inversions. Banshee features the longest layout for an invert and has some great elements of the Zero G roll, pretzel knot, and the inline twist. If you want an intense ride, go give Banshee a ride in the back row. Ending the top 5, we have the newest coaster to the lineup with Orion, the B&M Giga. This Giga is one of the smoothest roller coasters you will ever ride. It features one of the best drops on any roller coaster. Orion doesn't have the longest layout, but provides in the speed department and is one and best rode in the front row, in my opinion. As for the other coasters, I'll give a short description with each of them to help with time, starting with the 2 launch coasters. Flight of Fear really paved the way for launch coasters today. This indoor coaster features a launch into the dark of 53 miles per hour, and you go through a spaghetti bowl layout in the dark with some inversions thrown in there. It's old, but it's definitely still worth the ride, and it's themed with Area 72. The other launch coaster is Backlot Stunt Coaster. This family coaster features a launch into the streets formerly themed to the Italian Job movie. But after Cedar Fair took ownership of the park, they dropped the theming, but the effects are still there with the helicopter, fire, the signs, the streets, and more. This is a great family coaster, but can really build up a wait, so if you want to ride it, make sure you get to the ride early. Next up, we have Racer is the park's racing wood coaster over by Orion. Dating back to the opening of the park, this racing coaster is really well maintained by the park and received some refurb last year with the track making it glass smooth for a coaster that is from 1972. It has some good pops airtime as you race. Are you side red or blue? The Bat is an aero-suspended coaster operating as one of the few left in the world. It definitely uses the terrain to its advantage as it dives down the hillside. It's a short ride, but it's definitely more intense than its counterpart, Iron Dragon and Cedar Point, but provides a decent ride. The last two coasters that aren't kids coasters feature Adventure Express in the new Adventureport area for 2023. This old Mayan train style coaster features a themed layout, but is also very old and janky, but definitely one of a kind with the theming. And the other is Invertigo. In my opinion, this is the worst roller coaster in the park and one of my least favorites I've ever rode. This Vekoma Invert Boomerang from 1999 is just a janky mess, and it definitely isn't worth the wait as it only runs one train. And if you want to ride it, make sure you pack some Advil for after the ride. The final three roller coasters are all family coasters in Planet Snoopy, which is being converted slightly to Camp Snoopy in 2024 to make way for Snoopy's Soap Box Racers, a family Vekoma roller coaster themed to Snoopy. The first of three is Great Pumpkin Coaster, this little kid's coaster that can only be rode as a kid or if you have a kid. It's very, very, very small roller coaster, something you would see at like a state fair, but a very beginner coaster for little kids. Woodstock Express is a good starter roller coaster for kids, manufactured by PTC. It's a very small wood coaster, and it's honestly not a bad ride, even riding it as an adult. And if you're very small, yes, you can fit into seats, but the seats, if you're tall at all, they are very uncomfortable. The final coaster is Flying Ace Aerial Chase. This family Vekoma invert is a final coaster to get the little thrill seekers ready for the big ones. This one is not that bad. It definitely can be a headbanger at sometimes depending on which seat you're riding, but if you're shorter, it's not going to bother you at all. But for adults, it definitely can be a little bit of a headbanger. That finishes all the ride lineups. I give a final score of 9 out of 10 for the ride department. It's just lacking one major roller coaster that I think can shine above them all as a number one in many people's list. But maybe we'll get that with an RMC or something in the Vortex plot of land. The next category we have is the food. I'll cover some of my favorite restaurants at Kings Island. Like I said, I'm not going to cover all of them, but here are the highlights, and make sure to comment your favorite place to eat in the park in the comments so other people can have some more suggestions. And if you're liking what you see here, please consider leaving a like down below because it really helps the video reach more people, and subscribing if you want to see more of the theme park content from Park Hoppers Productions. Also, make sure to check out Park Hoppers Radio, our podcast all about the theme park community, down in the comments down below. You can find your typical Auntie Anne's, chicken, burgers, and fries here, but the real restaurants really do shine at this park. Coney Barbecue starting out is my favorite place to eat in the park. This menu features pulled pork, rotisserie-style chicken, chicken legs, and my favorite on the menu, the burnt ends. Enrique's is a Mexican-style restaurant that is newly in the area for Adventureport and has burritos, bowls, tacos, salads, and more, and it really fits into the area well and provides some good food. As I'm talking about food, if you go to the parks more than 2 to 3 times a year, I highly recommend, like I said, buying a season pass for this park and buying the meal plan, which I do every year, and it saves me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every year with the many visits I go to these parks. Grain and Grill is a Mediterranean and European-style food restaurant with premier entrees like Moroccan chicken, glazed pork, shrimp, and more. It's definitely a healthier alternative if you're looking for that in the theme parks. A few exceptions to the typical theme park food is La Rosa's Pizza. La Rosa's is a Cincinnati staple for pizza, and it really is the best theme park pizza, in my opinion, that you can eat that I've had so far in my visits. In rounding out, Miami River Brewhouse is an indoor sit-down restaurant, and you can definitely relax in the cool here, definitely on a very hot day. You can get full entrees here with appetizers, salads, premium entrees, and much more. You can even get some drinks here if you're of age. And like I said, you can get some local beers from the tap from the surrounding Cincinnati area, and it's a great place to escape the hate. And if you're there the right time, you definitely can catch some sporting events there, but just don't count on the Cincinnati teams to be winning any games. That's a joke. The Cincinnati Reds are doing good, and the Bengals are doing good. I'm just joking. And lastly, don't forget to stop by Potato Works for some really good cheese fries, and then right next to it, you can get a really good funnel cake or some beignets, or what my co-host in the podcast calls Beigenettes. For food, I could definitely give this park an 8 out of 10. Going on to the flat ride section, one of my favorites in the park is Boo Blasters on Boo Hill. This family shooting dark ride is located in the kids area, and it's definitely fun to see who can score the highest in the group. And then I'm going to show my score because I am a Master Blaster. It's a family friendly with no scares, but comment down below if you've reached Master Blaster level. Cargo Loco and Soul Spin are the newest flat rides to the park in Adventureport. Cargo Loco is Kings Island's take on the classic spinning teapots ride, with each pot being a different ingredient. And Soul Spin is the new take on the Huss Enterprise like Witch's Wheel, but a fresh take without the cage you're sitting in, you're just free sitting in a chair. The park features 3 water rides. The first is Congo Falls, the Shoot the Chutes water ride. This water ride features a 34-foot drop and is sure to get you soaked on the hot day if you're looking for that. Race for Your Life Charlie Brown is an aero log flume, a classic log flume. It's not the biggest and it's not the smallest, but it's a perfect one for families that have small kids that aren't quite ready for the larger water rides in the park. But you'll definitely get a little wet on the ride too. Whitewater Canyon is a river rapids ride that rides through the woods and under mystic timbers, and you'll hit some whirlpool, geysers, and some rapids along the ride through the woods. You'll definitely get soaked, so be prepared with some extra clothes or the family dryer. Beryllium is a Huss Frisbee that reaches heights of 137 feet and speeds of over 60 miles per hour. Definitely a very interesting ride, but the line can get very long with the operation sometimes, being a little slow loading these trains. If you want to get some views of the park, I highly recommend riding the Eiffel Tower. The icon of the park is third the size of the actual Eiffel Tower in Paris, but it's a 3-to-1 replica. It features beautiful views from the park from every angle, but make sure you don't go on a windy day because sometimes they will not open the Eiffel Tower. Another one you get beautiful views on with intense thrills is Drop Tower, one of my favorite drop towers in the entire world, featuring a 315-foot drop at 67 miles per hour. This will definitely make you lose your stomach. But if you want a peaceful but thrilling ride, you can get a beautiful view on Windseeker. This ride will bring you up 300 feet with some great views, but a little thrill added along for the classic swing ride. And one of the classics, one of the most peaceful rides in the park is the Kings Island and Miami Valley Railroad. You'll get a classic train ride through the woods with little extras built in throughout the ride. And the train even drops you off the water park and can bring you back. And in the winter, they deck out the train in lights, and the whole layout of the train has thousands of lights themed with the song 12 Days of Christmas. Like any other park, you can find the classics here like the carousel, bumper cars, and more, but they do not have a Ferris wheel. For the flat ride department, I give the park a 6.5 out of 10. For our next category, we have entertainment. Throughout the years, there have been many different live entertainment shows that depend on the month and the year you're going and the celebration that they're celebrating. But my favorite is Phantom's Theater, the encore show that they finally brought back 2 years ago. This show pays homage to the old dark ride that was Phantom's Theater, but it features some funny comedy, illusions, some very catchy songs that will definitely have you singing Happy Feet for the rest of the day, and I can tell you from experience, you will be singing it the rest of the day. During the summer nights, you can expect to see a fireworks show almost every night depending on the weather. Make sure you know that the Beast will shut down during the fireworks show. The show features fireworks, drones, laser projections, and much more. And if you want to experience the best spot to watch it from, definitely go on International Street when you first walk in the park. Kings Island holds its annual Haunt every year in Halloween Haunt. This was voted the best theme park Halloween event by USA Today in 2022. You can experience many haunted houses, scare zones, themed food, and more. And from experience speaking, this is one of the better Halloween events, as I'm not really a fan of theme park Halloween events. Coming from somebody that works in the haunt industry, it definitely is my own opinion, but like I said, the Halloween events at theme parks could be a lot better. And rounding out the entertainment and events is Winterfest. I just attended this for the second year in a row. From November weekends in December, Kings Island decks out the park with millions of lights, freezes over the water in the front of the park, and you can skate under the Eiffel Tower. The restaurants are all changed to winter names, and you can even ride Mystic Timbers in the snow, and Flight of Fear is changed to Flight of Cheer. You can even celebrate the end of the year and ring in the new year at the park, which I've done the last 2 years. They light up the Eiffel Tower and count down the ball drop on the tower leading up to New Year, but I highly, highly recommend Winterfest if you're in the area. And like me, I drove 5 hours to experience it this year. And lastly, I want to touch slightly on the water park and the operations. The water park is one of the better regional theme parks that does feature a water park, featuring an abundant number of slides, drop complexes, wave pools, lazy rivers, and favorite is the Racing Mat slide. This park is included with admission to Kings Island, so it's better than some of the other regional parks that charge extra for the water park, but like I said, you can get dual admission for the price of one at Kings Island. And lastly, the operations of the park is truly what makes the park shine. From operations on, the roller coasters are very fast, and the flat rides, all the ride ops truly do care about being safe, and most importantly, they are fast. Rides like Orion and Banshee have lightning fast operations, so if you're watching as a ride op from Banshee Orion, you guys absolutely kill the game every time I'm there. When you go to a park with fast ride operations, you can get more re-rides on your favorite rides, and it just provides for a more peaceful and smooth day throughout your theme park visit, especially if you're only visiting for one day and you want to experience everything in one day. I've never had a bad experience with the park, and in my podcast awards show, the Screamies, which I'll link in the description down below, we did vote it the best operations and guest experience from over 2,000 votes. And like I said, it was a fun episode. Just definitely check out our awards show, the Screamies. For entertainment and operations, entertainment, I will give the park a 8 out of 10. In operations, I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. My final thoughts on Kings Island are this has the best operations out of any park I visited in the United States. The ride lineup is absolutely stellar, like with an amazing top 5 and some very good supporting coasters out of that top 5 with Racer, Flight of Fear, and other coasters. Like I said, they have good food, very fun operations, and entertainment. And I love going to these events. The 50th anniversary, Winterfest, and the Halloween events are all really great events to attend. Kings Island definitely can get packed, but not as packed as Cedar Point up north in Ohio, but I highly recommend going to Kings Island. My final score for the park, I give a 9.5 out of 10. And like I said, the only thing that could just be better is just one more standout roller coaster that I can really think push Kings Island over the hump of being the best lineup for any park with roller coasters. In my opinion, this is the best regional theme park, minus any Universal or Disney parks in the United States. So Kings Island gets the Park Hoppers production stamp of approval and is one of the best, if not the best theme parks I've ever visited. Thank you all for watching. If you have any video suggestions for parks, rides, or anything or ride histories, make sure you comment them down below and give subscribe if you want to see more theme park content. I'm Austin from Park Hoppers Productions, and have a wonderful day.